All right, I'm going to talk through about removing the headliner from a 2019-2020 GMC Sierra or Silverado. My Sierra crew cab has a sunroof, so I haven't seen any videos out there on removing the headliner for a sunroof, but if you want to remove the headliner for adding in or changing out the third brake light, there's no screws on the exterior of the brake light. Everything is done on the inside. So if you want to remove it, you have to unfortunately take down the headliner. One of the first things you're going to want to do, because there's side impact airbags, is go ahead and disconnect the battery. Starting in the back, you're going to need to remove the trim pieces. There's this piece here will pop out. It's got tabs on the top and clips around the side and on the bottom. So when you pull out from the bottom and then just let it slide down. Next thing you're going to do is remove this piece here. And when you go to remove that piece, just look at the top. There's a bungee cord that holds it on. If you undo that screw, which I believe is a 10 millimeter, that clip will fall right off. It was a 7 millimeter socket, and I just put the screw back into that little clip, and then I let the piece just rest down on the seat. Using a spudger, you're going to remove the trim piece here, and then this clip is identical to the ones in the back. This is a 10 millimeter socket. You're going to take off this panel on both sides. There's also two more screws. One's hiding behind that airbag piece, and I didn't see there's another screw down at the bottom of the handle hidden behind that piece of trim. Using a spudger, remove both of those. The bottom screw is a number 10. This top screw is a number 7. You will need a longer socket to reach in there. Your A-pillars are next. You're going to undo two of those little covers with a spudger, and then there should be 2 screws behind them. I'm going to add, they use the cheapest plastic here, so be prepared for a lot of these clips to stay in. I use just 2 small flatheads and pop them out, but the plastic does get chewed up on that end. I've never had one in the newer trucks come out nice and clean. GM just went real thin with the plastic. Next thing we're going to remove is this control panel here. Right here is a piece of trim on this side as well. Pop those out and they'll reveal 2 screws. You undo those and then you can pull this down. And for these screws, you want this front hole. You're going to need a long T-handle T10. Once you get that panel down, I just reach from the front and pull down. There are 2 clips in the back, and the screws were in here and here. I undid this wiring harness already, and then you can undo these 2 wiring harnesses and remove the piece from the vehicle. To remove these connectors, you need to lift up on this red piece, and then the tab is on the front side. I took this screwdriver and simply stuck it in there, pulled up on the red piece, and now you can remove those connectors. Back in the back seat, you're going to need to remove the hooks from the ceiling. Front of the hook opens up, revealing a screw. It looks like a number 8, most likely. All right, back up in the front here, we need to remove both sun visors. This little piece here, you just kind of pry down on the corner, and then you can see it has a tab. You pull that out, that'll reveal the screws underneath. As for the clip, let me pop this open. On the back side here, you can see the little notch. You put in a screwdriver to open it up, and it should be a Torx screw. I believe it's a T15 for both of these. Next thing you're going to want to do is loosen up the door seals all the way around. Pull out a little bit more down here so you don't have to bend this too hard. But loosen up those door seals, you'll see the edge of the headliner. And then for the mirror, I just want to add, I have that one dangling. I have lights in the mirror, so there's a cord, and GM did not put a connector. So this one, I've undone these screws, but I've just kind of left it hooked for right now until I need to pull it down. After you remove the gaskets, you can start to pull down the headliner. As you can see, I've made progress. Be very gentle with it. For the mirrors, if you do have lights, the connector is up above. You just use a small little flathead and lift up on this piece, and you'll be able to disconnect them. I've just thrown them on the dashboard for right now. For your cab center light, it has 2 clips that just connect in that top bar, no screw, so you're able to just pull down on it just gently, and you'll get from there. There are some additional connectors in the back here. and that's what we're gonna work on now. This is the wiring for the third brake light right here in this corner. On the passenger side in the back, the last thing you need to worry about is these two blue clips. They sit in back here. I found if you just pull the hand down, or pull it down a little bit and reach in with your hand and push, you're able to get them out without breaking. This headliner was removed not too long ago. I had a leak in the back, and they had to remove it to reseal back here. So that was done not too long ago. And now you can see these are all the screws that you're gonna have to undo to remove the third brake light. There's a handful of them. If you want to completely remove the headliner from the vehicle, before you disconnect the battery, tilt the passenger side seat forward and remove the passenger seat from the vehicle. The back seat you can kind of fold up and then you can maneuver it out the back door. That's the way you get the headliner out. So that's how you remove the headliner in a 2019, 2020 GMC Sierra or a Chevy Silverado. What I do recommend you do is if you do remove the third brake light for any reason, the high brake light, water test it first before you put everything back up. Take a couple of cups of water and just pour it over the roof and make sure you're not getting any leaks. I did not do that the first time, and I did find a leak coming down in this corner, so I actually had to drop everything again and then put a little bit of silicone over those screws. I did also kind of figure out the best thing to do is actually get the back headliner up and clip those two clips in there and have somebody help you and prop up the front, then start all the attachments in the front. I did the mirrors, the upper center controller, then I came back and pushed in the rear light and did the two hooks, and then I came in and did all the side trim and the molding after that. But doing that all in that order seemed to be the best and the easiest method. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Please like and subscribe if you are happy. It does help me get a little bit of the ad revenue.